Do you know how much these motherfuckers have to hate the Trump administration for South Korea, China, and Japan? 3 countries with enough historical trauma to fuel an AP World History curriculum. To suddenly hold hands, sing Kumbaya, and come together like the Powerpuff Girls. Like, this isn't just some tariff business deal. This is centuries of colonization, war crimes, and unresolved trauma being pushed to the side just to spite the United States. Do you know how bad shit has to be to get to this point? Brief little history lesson for those of you who don't get it. Japan spent a hot minute fucking with China and Korea. They colonized and had an occupation in South Korea from 1910 to 1945, where they stripped the Korean people of their land, their culture, their language. They even forced Korean women into sexual slavery for Japanese soldiers and called them comfort women. And to this day, Japan still hasn't even made a half-assed public apology. They just swept it under the rug. Then, in 1937, Japan invaded and carried out a massacre in Nanjing, China. And this is one of the most brutal massacres in modern history. Japan walked up in that bitch and killed over 200,000 people. And the women of Nanjing, China were being assaulted in the streets. And of course, we can't forget about Unit 731, which was Japan's secret military unit that carried out Nazi-level experiments on Chinese and Korean prisoners. Like, they conducted biological warfare, live dissections, gave these people diseases to study them. And again, Japan still never took full accountability for any of this. The shit that Unit 731 was doing was so fucking bad that Nazi officials went to visit them, and even these full-on Nazis were appalled by their experiments. In fact, they distanced themselves from Japan because of it. They saw what Japan was doing to these Chinese and Korean prisoners, and even the Nazis were like, yeah, we gotta go, because this is a lot even for us. So the fact that Japan, China, and South Korea are now all coming together despite their horrific history, just to say, fuck these Trump tariffs. This just shows that Trump's trade policies are so fucking bad. He's accidentally paused and put a resolve on historical trauma and conflict by becoming the one thing all of these bitches can agree that they hate. Girl, this is bad. This is bad, yes. If you guys don't know who Baba Vanga is, she was a blind Bulgarian mystic who predicted things like 9/11, Princess Diana's death, submarine disasters, the 2004 tsunami, Barack Obama becoming president. She even predicted the date of her own funeral. And before she died, she basically laid out a whole bunch of predictions she had for the future. And guess what she said about 2025? She said 2025 would bring a war in Europe. Check. Shattering earthquakes. Check. Economic disaster. Check. And the beginning of humanity's downfall. Woohoo! And now here we are in 2025. We have earthquakes leveling cities. Our global market is currently doing backflips. The air quality is cooked. We're literally breathing in microplastics. AI has become self-aware. And we're letting billionaires use our tax dollars to build rockets that blow up mid-air, while the rest of us are fighting over fucking egg prices. And let's not forget the environmental collapse. We're on track for the hottest year recorded in history. Again! Hurricanes are happening in places they should not be happening in. Wildfires are popping up. Whole coastlines are shaking. And the worst part about all of this is just the beginning of Baba Vanga's prediction. These are the inciting incidents. Baba Vanga basically said that 2025 is going to be a rough fucking year because it's going to be the start of our downfall. So if you're feeling overwhelmed this year, just know you're not imagining it. We're just living through the prophecy of a blind woman who got flung into a tornado when she was younger and when she woke up had psychic abilities. Hope that helps you sleep at night. I'm gonna have to clock out for this one, girl. So, yeah. Who's excited for World War III?
Right.
Are you fucking kidding me? Have you won it for new? Welcome. If you're not, you know what fucking time it is, bitch. It's time for the Daily Scream. Let me catch you bitches up to speed. On Russia State TV, which is basically Russia's version of Fox News, some guy named Vladimir Soloviev went on live national television in Russia and said that the UK and the US are directly waging war against Russia. Right. So first of all, I want to know when this happened because nobody told us about this and our only warning was you threatening us with nuclear annihilation. Now, Soloviev isn't just some rando. He's basically Russia's Andrew Tate if Andrew Tate had access to military secrets and was paid to threaten countries in the West. And who's Russia's president? Vladimir Putin. Yes, the man who's been invading Ukraine for over 2 years now and has a long history of threatening nuclear warfare whenever he does not get his way. Anyways, this Andrew Tate wannabe who speaks on behalf of Vladimir Putin, he said that not only will UK and US troops be destroyed, but us regular people, you know, like me and you, we will feel the consequences, the likes of which we've never seen. Right. Now, here are my concerns, and I actually have a list of concerns, but these are the main ones that are sticking out in the top of my head currently. They said not only US and UK troops, they are threatening us directly. 2, the US is a part of NATO. So do you see all of these countries? Yeah, well, being in NATO means that our country agreed that if one of these bitches are getting jumped, we're all jumping in to save her. So if Russia hits the UK or Germany or France, that's not just their war, it's our war. And lastly, we have Donald Trump saying that he could end the war in one day. But babe, you're talking a big game for someone who doesn't even know how tariffs work. And to make it even worse, and you know, like, this isn't funny, but it's either I laugh or I'm gonna start ripping out chunks of my hair, okay? Russia's former president posted online calling Western leaders a fascist clique and joking about how many coffins we'll need once our troops deploy. And for the bitches in the back who are still like, how does this affect me though? Well, Russian hackers can cut our power. They can crash our banks, mess with electronic hospital equipment, shut off gas lines. And according to experts, that's literally Russia's game plan. So, yeah. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Well, it looks like you no longer need a Hulu subscription to watch The Handmaid's Tale anymore. Just book a flight to Georgia and you can watch it all unfold in real time. A 30-year-old nurse, Adriana Smith, was declared brain dead over 3 months ago. She's still on life support, though. Why? Because she's pregnant. This isn't some dystopian fiction. This is Georgia's abortion law in action. And what's even more terrifying is this exact same scenario happens in season 3, episode 9 of The Handmaid's Tale. Down to the details. A handmaid, someone forced to give birth, loses too much blood. She's declared brain dead. And the state keeps her body alive just to use it as an incubator. This is no longer just a dystopian concept. This is Georgia's law. Adriana had blood clots in her brain. Her family says the hospital ignored her symptoms. They didn't do a CT scan and then discharged her with meds. The next morning, she collapsed and was pronounced brain dead. And now, Georgia's so-called heartbeat law has turned her body into state property. Because she's not at risk anymore, she's just dead. But not dead enough for the law. Doctors are legally required to keep her body breathing against her family's wishes until the fetus, which is currently 21 weeks old, reaches viability at 32 weeks. That's 11 more weeks of machines, trauma for her family, and escalating hospital bills. And who's gonna pay for those bills? The state? And this is all for a fetus that doctors are already saying might not even survive. The fetus has fluid in the brain, so when he's born, he can be born stillborn, he might be wheelchair bound, he might be blind. But none of that matters to the lawmakers who wrote the heartbeat law. Because choice was never the point. Under normal circumstances, the family, or Adriana's own medical wishes, would guide this decision. This isn't a miracle. This is a medically enforced hostage situation. Her body isn't hers anymore. It belongs to the state. All because a handful of extremist men want to play God. The same state who let her walk out of a hospital with no CT scans, with doctors who didn't listen to her, are now demanding her corpse be left viable and functioning for 4 more months. Governor Brian Kemp and the lawmakers who passed this law, they should be forced to sit with Adriana's family every single day and explain why their daughter's death is now a political stunt. Let's stop pretending this is about life. It's about power. It's about punishment. It's about stripping women, especially black women, of dignity, autonomy, and peace. So no, this isn't an episode of The Handmaid's Tale. This is America in 2025. You dumb fucking bitches. You dumb, silly fucking bitches. Ed and Lorraine Warren gave you hookers one fucking rule, and that rule was to not move Annabelle. And what did you dumb motherfuckers do? You moved the bitch! You rolled that nasty, haunted Raggedy Ann doll across the country like she was Taylor Swift during her Eras tour. Now what happened immediately after her tour stopped in Louisiana? Nothing much. Just a 500-year-old antebellum mansion spontaneously combusted, which honestly, I don't give a fuck about. Good fucking riddance. But we also had over in New Orleans 10 violent criminals, like people who were committed for escaped jail, and now there are 7 of them currently on the loose. See, bitch, this is why we can't have nice things. They tell you, hey, maybe don't move the Annabelle doll, and what do? You move the fucking Annabelle doll. Not only did you move her, but they told you to keep her in her special case, and you removed her from it! You opened up the fucking case and removed her! Now, the people touring around with Annabelle are saying that it's fine because they built her a new case with holy water, crosses, saint medals, but clearly that doesn't do shit when you remove her from the case! The reason for going on tour with Annabelle was to teach people about items and the occult. My question is, why the fuck didn't a photo suffice? Like, why did you have to take the bitch with you on tour? What are you educating people on? How to let a demon loose in Louisiana? If you're not gonna follow Ed and Lorraine Warren's #1 rule, you might as well actually bring her someplace she'll be of use. And just, off rip here, I think the next best place to go to would either be the White House or Donald Trump's bedroom. Great news, everyone! The United States is officially on the Human Rights Watch list! Hi everyone, if you're new, welcome. If you're not, you know what fucking time it is, bitch. It's time for the Daily Scream. The reason we're on the Human Rights Watch list? Well, the US is rated as narrow. That means our government says we can exercise our rights and freedoms, but our rights and freedoms are also constantly being violated. Examples? Military force on protesters, silencing and arresting journalists, ICE raids, ICE kidnapping people who are literally US citizens or here visiting on vacation, defunding PBS and NPR, and us being on a Human Rights Watch list actually makes a lot of sense, because we have men like Kyle Langford running for governor of California who felt comfortable enough to post this. And I cannot stress this enough. He felt comfortable enough to post this because of the current administration. A photoshopped image of him at Auschwitz with the caption, "My 0% unemployment plan." That's not even a dog whistle. That's a fucking air raid siren. And when people were like, hey, is this a joke? Because it's not funny. He said, I wasn't joking. I think it's exactly what is needed to stabilize California. Let's be crystal clear. This isn't just extremely offensive. It's genocidal. It's a proud public endorsement of forced labor camps as governance. We are watching, in real time, the rise of white Christian nationalist fascism. And to top off all of that, did you know ICE is now forgiving student loans if you join them? Yeah, student loan forgiveness is canceled unless you're deporting families. Want to become debt-free? All you have to do is become an agent of state violence. They're offering $50,000 signing bonuses and student loan forgiveness to recruit more people to arrest immigrants under Trump's deportation agenda. The same administration who froze Biden's student loan forgiveness plan is now saying, what if we forgave student loans for ICE agents? And while all of this is happening, Trump is blowing up the Constitution with fireworks. He's signing executive orders without judicial reviews, ignoring Supreme Court rulings, and using the Marines like they're fucking mall cops. Checks and balances? Never heard of her. Freedom of speech? Not if you're a journalist. Public media? Defunded. Oh, you support Palestine? Yeah, we're detaining you. This is a full-blown fascist acceleration. And for everybody who kept saying, but this could never happen here, it is happening here. And it's not just happening here. It's happening with funding, with laws, with recruitment campaigns. And if you think this won't touch you because you're not a journalist, protester, or an immigrant, let me remind you there are people like Kyle Langford who think Auschwitz is a good jobs plan. So ask yourselves, how far away from those camp gates are you?